Greetings, automotive enthusiasts. Today we have for you a 1998 Ford Thunderbird Turbo Coupe 5-speed manual transmission, the forgotten Fox body. Check this car out. This is a one-owner, 40,000 mile, all original survivor. This car is just, I mean, it's almost like a new 1988 Ford. It's just an incredible condition. I can't wait to show you guys all around this car. These cars, it's such a cool story. You know, the Thunderbird is really a significant car. It was 87 Thunderbird. It was the car of the year in 87, Motor Trend's car of the year. Bill Elliott just crushed NASCAR with this car. I think he still holds the top speed record, I think, at Talladega with this Thunderbird. Bob Glidden, I believe, in Pro Stock, dominated in the Thunderbird. I mean, this car should be up there with the Grand Nationals as far as collectability and value. So undervalued, such a cool car. 190 horsepower, 240 foot-pounds of torque, and Ford even detuned it because it was faster than the Mustang GT. So they put a smaller turbo on it, and then they let it get 15 pounds of boost in first gear, and then they killed it to 10 pounds in every other gear. Kind of a funny story. This is an SBO Mustang in a suit. So let's take a look here and zoom in on this car. This car, the plastics, I mean, everything on this car is incredible. The lights are basically perfect. About the only flaws are just some tiny little touch-ups that have been done on the nose of the car, and you can kind of see little teeny touch-ups. And that's about it. Show you across the front there. And actually, I'm probably gonna work on that. I've got a guy that says that he can polish those off and retouch them up and make them look a lot better. So that's, you know, I'm gonna have this car paint corrected and have some more done to it, but want to bring it to you, as we got it. So number one, you can see how we got it, and then these cars have a habit of disappearing quickly when I put them on my website. So sometimes we never even get to see them to the end of their journey. So always like to bring them to you kind of somewhat how we get them. So you see everything across the front, other than those little touch-ups, pretty much flawless. Coming across the fenders, top of the hood, other than just some, you know, it just needs a good polish. You can see some of the, you know, and you can see some of the, you know, like hard water or something in there. The paint's really super smooth, but I cannot wait to get this polished out. It's just, looks like $1 million now. Can't wait to see it. Check out the Eagle GTs. You can't even get those tires anymore. The wheel is basically perfect. Like I said, the wheels are pretty much flawless. I mean, I'm sure if you got a microscope on there, you could find something. Well, like I said, so here's a little teeny scratch. But tires are from 2012. You know, that's gonna be older than what most people are gonna wanna do, but these are Eagle GTs, can't get them anymore. I'm not changing the tires. I actually drove this car back from Houston, and the car drives fantastic. So, and then with the way this car's been preserved, I mean, these tires have pretty much been inside, they don't even shake or nothing. So, and showing no signs of dry rotting. It's going to be a fun weekend car. Might be fun to find 2 sets of wheels, but for showing and stuff like that, because this is a show quality car, I'm going to leave the Eagle GTs on there because they just look so cool. Again, looking down the fender, there's not a ding or scratch on this car. My gosh, just looking at it. Coming in here, got the keyless pad. Even the mirrors, you know, are just perfect condition. The roof, other than some hard water spots, which we'll polish out, there's not a ding on this car. The glass, the rubbers, the moldings, the trims, I mean, this is as close to a new 1988 car as you're gonna find. Rear wheel, immaculate. And I'll show you the tread on the tires. They're like basically new. I mean, this is probably, I'm sure, the second set of tires on this car. because it's only got 40,000 miles on it. And these tires are like new. So all of the plastics, all the trim moldings are pretty much flawless. Coming across the back here, deck lid. I mean, I'm showing you the car, but there's just not much to show other than just the beauty of the car. Tail lights are just like brand new. Emblems, moldings, bumpers. I mean, the plastics, I mean, on these cars, you know, the plastics faded out faster than the metal just because the paint didn't, you know, react the same against plastic as the metal. But I don't know if this guy kept this car in his living room or what, but I got mad props to whoever took care of this car. I couldn't have taken care of this thing if I tried this long. Rear wheel, basically perfect. Again, tires, super good. Not a ding or scratch down the side. Coming around the front here, mirror, basically perfect. And the roof. And again, hey, check out this here. The NACA duct hood scoops on this are actually functional. This is a ram air hood, ramming air through the intercooler. It's really cool because the car gained an intercooler in '87, but because it was so fast from the '86 car, it had a bigger Garrett turbo. They put a smaller turbo on it and turned the boost down because with the intercooler, it was too fast and it couldn't compete with their Mustang GT, right? Had to stay slower, so they had to slow the car down. Kind of cool. I'll show you this here real quick too. We got all the books, all the manuals, original carpeted floor mats are in the car, and then these rubber mats are on top of that. So that's what's preserved everything all these years. So I'm just kind of showing you that. There's the manual. I got the key code for the door and everything. Now here is where it just blows my mind. This has the red velour interior, and I'll just come in and go, oh. It's flawless, without flaw. I mean, there's not a single flaw to note on the interior of this car. There's no sun fading, there's no wear, there's just nothing. It's got the cool Recaro style seats. Everything works on this car. The seat power bolsters here. You can crank in, that's the lumbar, I'm sorry. Crank in the bolsters. Got the lumbar or the thigh support there that goes in and out. Very, very cool. Here's the carpets. There's the factory carpets. Pedals are perfect, zero wear on the pedals, and carpets underneath are never been touched. Looking across the headliner, it's absolutely perfect. Back seat, you know, everybody talks about, oh, the back seat, you know, no, it looks like nobody's ever sat in it, you know. Well, I mean, back seats typically don't get that much use. But how many times can you say the front seat looks like it's never been sat in? That's kind of the case on this car. Here we go. Everything in here, and check out the shifter. Like no wear at all on the shifter. Turbo. This has the equalizer. Everything works on this car. AC, amplifier, everything works on this car. Not a crack in the dash, nothing. Go around to the other side here real quick. And once again, everything is, I don't think I've ever had a car, and I can't believe I'm saying this on a 1988 car. I don't think I've ever had a car that I had the confidence to say it was perfect. But I have yet to see a flaw on this car. Carpets, completely preserved, the mats and the carpets because of the rubbers. Again, looking across the dash and the passenger seat. Immaculate. All right, so let's go take a peek under the hood. We'll go ahead and hit the trunk here while we're here. Got all the keys. I got like 2 or 3 sets of keys, and it's cool. Check out the key, turbo. And let's pop the trunk here, and everything is perfect in the trunk. I didn't even vacuum this car, you people. I didn't even vacuum it. So here's the mat. You can see the carpets, spare tires in there. Just absolutely perfect. I'm gonna really pull that out. I don't want to pull that off. Looking underneath the trunk lid, just perfect. Let's go under the hood. All right, check out this 2.3 liter 4-cylinder Lima engine. Here we go. And it is completely bone stock, has the automatic ride control struts, and they still work. Everything works perfectly. Bone stock, unmodified. My younger self would have absolutely just been stoked to have this car, and I'd have been putting a boost controller on it and disabling the boost cut on the other taller gears and exhaust and all that stuff, right? I mean, it's like 134 been converted. That's good. AC's ice cold. There's your air-to-air intercooler, and then here's your duct coming in from the hood. About the only thing is, the hood pad, and you can't really wash it or clean it because they just fall apart. But hood pad is a little bit saggy, but I'm not going to touch it, obviously. But it'd be cool. I wonder if they got any new old stock or something. But anyway, completely stock under here. Like I said, my younger self would be tempted to modify this car, but I have such respect for this car that I'm just going to enjoy it. I drive it. Drove it back from Houston, drove it to another town 2 hours away last night to deliver a car. I took this as our chase car. Go ahead and give you the VIN number here. So yeah, just gonna enjoy it just like it is. So, all right, well, this is the best part. Let's get in the car and I'll tell you about the car and we'll take it for a spin. All right, I'm buckled up in the T-Bird. Had to get my Yo MTV. This is kind of the 1988. It's that era. So let's go. And so we're off to see the wizard, the wonderful wizard of cars. So headed to see the wizard right now. Want him to give this car, just kind of give it a little overview. I don't imagine he'll find much in it, but I'll probably go ahead and service some fluids and stuff like that. So headed to the wizard right now. So here we go on our test drive. On this car, as you would imagine or expect, brakes, transmission, clutch, everything is just absolutely perfect. The AC is ice cold. Love, love, love the stereo here. It sounds fantastic. And like I said, the power antenna, everything works there. Okay, we're kind of at a stoplight here. Let me go ahead and get my antenna up here. What I can't believe, it's got this 7-band EQ and super cool. This car is 1988, and I mean, it rivals modern sound systems. I mean, it's good, it's smooth, it's got some bass. I mean, it really sounds good. Got the tilt steering wheel on it. Cool, like I said, it's got the ride control, so you can actually manually put it to firm, or it does it automatically. So what's kind of interesting when I did the research on this car, like when you go full throttle or it senses, it has various sensors that, sense different inputs and stuff, but it'll actually kick in and go to, firm ride. So when you floor it or you aggressively brake or corner, it senses that and puts you into the firm ride mode automatically. So we'll go ahead and get up over here and get up on the on-ramp. Woo! Yeah, I love that turbo boost, baby. Here we go, we got a little stoplight. It's an on-ramp and a little stoplight. Got a little Ford Fiesta beside us. Woohoo! man, I've wanted, this is the first one of these I've ever had. I wanted one of these back in the day. Me and Becky test drove one, basically this exact same color and everything, back in like 1991. And I think they wanted $4,500 or something, and couldn't afford it, you know. And I've really been looking for one ever since. All I've seen are just beat up, trashed out, you know, cars. And when I saw this car, I absolutely had to have it. It just the technology, like I said, this was 87 car of the year for Motor Trend. Passenger door's open. I'm gonna close it. Hey, and now it's quieter. What's interesting is I look down. It has the system's little down here. It's got door ajar, headlight out, tail light out, check oil, washer fluid, low fuel. And I look down. I'm like, why is there a red light on down there? I haven't seen a red light. Well, my right door was ajar, so kind of funny. This car, just like I said, I drove it back from Houston, and I've been driving it ever since, honestly. Just can't enjoy it enough. This car was on my list to have, and love Fox bodies, but this is kind of like the forgotten Fox, you know. It was interesting. I ran into Dennis Collins from the Gas Monkey and was chatting with him, and he's like, these cars, he loves the Turbo Coupe, loves Fox bodies, everybody knows that, and he's had some really super low mile Turbo Coupes himself, and but he said that these cars are so undervalued, under the radar. He's like, they should be up there with Grand Nationals as far as their significance and their money, and he says just mind-boggling that they're not. But hey, that's great for the enthusiasts that can get these cars and appreciate them and enjoy them. I mean, for less than a new freaking Kia. I mean, really? But yeah, so this thing's like walking back into the showroom of their Ford dealer in 1988 and driving away. That's just what this car is. Unbelievable. You saw all the details of the interior and everything, or the walk around, but driving it is just where you know, I just love it. The seats are so comfortable. I mean, they're really supportive and they're really grippy, but they're just so supportive and so comfortable, and pump up the lumbars and everything is all good to go there. But the climate control, it's got automatic climate control, which is really cool back in the day. So many features. It's got the auto dimming headlights, which is optional in this car. I think you know, they probably had leather as an option on this car, which I kind of like the cloth, really personally. And then this car doesn't have a sunroof, which I prefer on these old cars, because I mean, they leak and they're noisy. I always prefer no sunroofs personally. I'm just kind of a no sunroof kind of guy in general. I could take it or leave it, but you know, I prefer it. Just gives me more headroom, and it just makes for a more solid, tighter car. This car here, though, has pretty much a lot of the options. It's got the fog lights, it's got the Sentry lights, so like when you leave the car, the headlights stay on. You can adjust the time frame of that, and yeah, so it's just really neat advanced features for the day, honestly. And you know, all the switches work, power mirrors. You saw everything when I did the video. Down here in the console, we got all our seat control switches and windows and mirrors right here, just at your hand's touch. Very, very convenient. Yeah, just an incredible car. just enjoy it so much. Just floats down the road. You know, this was you know, I think this was kind of like an American's version of like a 6 Series BMW or something like that. I think it was a competitor. You know, and actually what was interesting is, as I was cleaning this car up at shift, a guy rolled in with his 88 944 turbo, and I'm like, well, wait a minute, it's kind of interesting. Both 4-cylinder turbos. I got a guy right here just giving me major kudos. Give him a honk. Man, when you drive this car around, people's like, oh, my you know, neighbor had one, my professor had one, my doctor had one. You know, I love hearing everybody's stories, because everybody really remembers this car, but yet you just don't see them today. And you know, it's so much fun to see this car get the attention that it deserves. But just going back to talking about the 944 Turbo, I'm like, that's kind of interesting, you know. You know, 944 is going to definitely out-handle this car, but you know, both big inline 4-cylinder turbocharged rear-wheel drive, you know, from the 80s, and I was like, well, this kind of I guess could have been a 944 alternative for a fraction of the price. This was an expensive car, though. I think these were around $18,000. So they weren't a cheap car, and that's where, you know, so the original owners were, you know, mostly typically probably adult owned, you know, purchased cars, because you know, that was significantly higher than like your Mustang or anything like that. But then what happened is when those people that buy them new, 2-3 years down the road, trade them in, then they depreciate. Well, then they get into the hands of the kids and the enthusiasts, like my younger self, and then the downward spiral begins. But to find one of these from the original owner that has just been meticulously taken care of, it's just really a special thing, and I want to keep this thing, you know, just nice. I'm gonna drive it and enjoy it. You know, we'll put it on our website for sale. I haven't even settled on a price yet. I got to do some research, but there's just not a lot of comparables out there. So, but I'll do some research and see what they're going for. But it's you know, it's not going to be a cheap one. I think it's probably one of the nicest ones left. Is, you know, I imagine there's I'm sure they sold a lot of these cars, so I'm sure there's a few of them hiding and tucked away, but I don't imagine there's a lot of them. And then just love this color scheme. So just wonderful time. Well, we're gonna go ahead and wrap this up. We're getting into some traffic here, so I want to pay attention to the road. But as always, appreciate you tuning in. Like and subscribe. You know, leave a message in the comments and tell me your Thunderbird Turbo Coupe story. And like us on Facebook, Eurasian Auto, EurasianAuto.com, to see when we get this thing listed on our website. And as always, have a great day and happy motoring. And she'll have fun till her daddy takes the T-bird away. I'm hoarse from talking so much with the everything going on here. A little bit hoarse, but having fun, loving the T-bird. Love you guys. Have a great day.